All right, so I got this old iPhone 5. So this is like, a few versions back, but this has a cracked screen, and I actually have packing tape over it. So it's just not in good shape at all, but I'm going to sell this on eBay, and I'm just kind of walk you through that process of how I list it and just really how simple this is. It is so simple. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is when you get your phone, if you don't have the eBay app yet, just go to the App Store, and then you can go to the search box right here. Search for that, and then this is the eBay app here, so you can just get that and download it. In my case, I already have it, so I'm just going to open it up. Okay, so now that you're over here, we can just kind of type in whatever item you want to sell. If you have a barcode, if you have the box of the item, you can actually scan that with this barcode scanner to save yourself even more time. But in my case, I'm just going to go ahead and type in what I got here. iPhone 5. Let's just see. And then we'll start auto-filling the different options here. So it's not a 5S, it's a 5. It is black. iPhone 5, 16 gigabyte black, Verizon. Okay, so I can just select that, and it's going to create a draft for me, pull in all the details. And so if you're selling a more obscure item that isn't that common, you might not be able to do this. You might need to manually enter in your title and description, but they have a lot of items in here that'll kind of pull that for you. Now, if you're selling a used item, you don't really want to use a stock photo. It's a lot better if you use your own photos. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pull in my own photos over here. So obviously I'm doing this on an iPhone. It's going to be a little bit different on an Android, but I think you get the idea. So I'm just selecting the photos that I took of this phone. And I'll just you can drag these around, and I'm going to put this one of the front screen showing that it's on there. So I just took a handful of pictures. I took about 7 pictures of the phone. More is always better than less. Don't just take one picture. And I also took a picture of the cracked screen because this one has a cracked screen. And any kind of flaws or problems with the item you're selling, you want to make sure you have pictures of them and let the buyers know, because the worst thing you can do is not tell them. And so anyway, so we have a handful of images here, and we're just going to click done on the photos. This is our title. It's already kind of built in there. Nothing really to change there. Or actually, I will change. I'm going to add that it has a correct screen. Like, we're going to put this in the description, but it doesn't hurt to add it other places as well. All right, so we'll do that. Say done. Category, it already did that for us. Put us in there. Condition, we're going to call this used. And then details, we can add a few more details about it. So in my case, I'm not going to spend a lot of time because it's an iPhone and everybody pretty much knows what they're going to get. So we'll just come back out of there. Details are done. All right, format and price. So this is what's great, is that eBay tells you for most items where they think you should price it. And so they suggest starting your auction at $49 in this case. So similar items that sold had a starting price between $40 and $65. And you could do that. Sometimes I like to price it lower than that to get more people bidding on it, because the more people who are bidding on it, the more likely one of them is to buy it and to drive the price up. So if you have 10 people bidding on your item, it becomes a little bit of an emotional thing if you've ever been involved in an auction where you really want to win. So that'll drive your price up a little bit. Versus if you price it really, really high, fewer people are going to bid on it. So you probably won't get as high of a price. In this case, I'm going to probably split the difference and just go with like a $29 start price on this. And then I'm also going to add a buy it now price because I think these are fun. So the buy it now price is basically somebody can just bypass the entire auction and pay whatever we want, whatever our price is, and they can walk away with it right then. And that's kind of a fun thing, and sometimes it surprises me. So what I'm going to do is, based on here, it says similar items that were sold were listed for between $60 and $99. So I'm going to list a buy it now price for $99. So if somebody wants it at that price, they can just come and get it. And meanwhile, I have the start price at $29, and starting prices, you can go with eBay's recommendation. It's not at all going to be bad, but I typically tell people whatever the start price is, set that wherever you would be happy to sell this item. So if this phone sold for $5, I would not be happy going through the work to sell it for $5. But if it sells for $29, it's worth my time. And so I'm happy to do that. So find that point for yourself, and that should be your starting price. And then from here, shipping is just, I typically just use what they have built in and just kind of go with that. Because if you have this hooked up through PayPal, which I recommend you do very strongly, you can just print the shipping right from PayPal, throw it in your mailbox, and just be done with it. It's really, really simple. And the way they set up shipping is that it's calculated, and we can just clip over here real quick. By default, it's calculated based on where the buyer's location is. So it's going to be adjusted to every buyer location. And then also a really cool thing they started not too long ago is this international shipping program or their global shipping program, they call it, where you can sell to anyone in the world, but you don't have to ship outside of the United States. So if I sell this phone to somebody over in Europe, I won't need to ship it over to Europe. I will just need to ship it to eBay's hub that might be in Virginia or something like that. And then they will take care of getting it over to Europe for the buyer. So anyway, I recommend having that on and pretty much just leaving all this stuff as it is. And then down here is the preferences for payment and stuff like that. And let's just flip over there real quick. And you definitely want to hook up a PayPal account. So if you don't have one, you need to get a PayPal account. It's just the gold standard for eBay. Everybody uses it on here. I don't think you have to do that, but very few buyers are going to work with you if you don't, because there's just a lot of protections for the buyers when they use PayPal. And so PayPal just makes the whole transaction process just safer and more convenient for everybody. People can get paid instantly, and the instances of fraud are pretty much non-existent for most eBay transactions because everybody's using PayPal. Versus if you were mailing checks or money orders or stuff like that, that's where it gets really shady and you might run into people trying to scam you and stuff like that. So pretty much use PayPal, stay safe, and that's the best way to handle this. So from here, just hit continue. And then it's just kind of going through, double checking everything. It shows us here our listing fees. All of this stuff is free. I don't know what the exact seller fee is. I believe let's click here. I believe it's 10% or something like that. And not sure if they're going to show it on here or not. Anyway, yeah. So it says your first 50 listings per month, 10% total amount of the sale. So that's what you're going to pay. So if this sells for $70, I'm going to pay them $7. And they also have an option here to auto relist it. So if it happens to not sell the first time, they would automatically just relist it again and do that up to 2 more times for me. And so that's pretty much it. So I can click preview here and just double check, make sure the pictures are right and I don't have anything weird in there. I can read over everything, read over the description and all the rules. And then that's it. And then I can click list it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click list it. And there we go. And it says now your item is listed for sale. So what we can do is I can view the listing if I would like. And then now it's just sitting up here on eBay. And so it shows out there. And then, you will probably, assuming you have notifications turned on, you should get notifications if somebody bids on it and when it sells or anything like that. But you can come over to this My eBay tab. And from here, you can always kind of flip down to see the items that you are selling. Let's just see what we got here. So here's the one active item I have that I'm selling. And it'll show you how many people are watching it. And those are people who are just kind of paying attention and wanted to see what's going on, but haven't bid. And it'll also show you the number of people bidding on it as well. And then once this item sells, then we can just kind of move on from there. And I can work through that process and show that to you. And that is the listing process. All right, so it is a few days later now, and our item sold. We ended up selling it for $46, which isn't bad for a probably, 4-year-old phone with a cracked screen, so I will take it. And so we got an email saying it was sold. Anytime along while it's selling, you can log into eBay and kind of see how many bids are going on and things like that. And so now that it's sold, I want to check and make sure that I actually got paid. And I actually got an email about this as well, but we can just go here and click payment status. There we go. And then you'll have this little thing here. So the checkbox means that, I believe it means that it's sold. And then this $$ means that it was paid. And then each one of these kind of happen as you progress through the process. So at this point, my job is to print the shipping label so I can send it. But this is what's really, really cool about this. So we're just going to select print shipping label. And I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And then we are now kind of logged in. And our shipping label, we're going to just do USPS. I'm just going to stick with everything they have here. And, we have the total package weight and the dimensions and things like that. And this is all set by them. So it is something that you might want to check to kind of confirm. But if it's a really common item like this, you probably won't need to worry about it. So in my case, I'm trusting that they know what an iPhone actually weighs. And I just know from holding it that there's no way it's going to weigh 2 pounds once I get in this package. So they're actually giving us a discount on shipping. So the buyer paid $9.45 for shipping to get this shipped over. And because you're doing this through eBay, you actually get a discount. So you get to ship it even cheaper. And so what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and purchase postage. And then that's going to create a postage label for me that I can just put on the package. And then I can literally throw this in my mailbox because it's USPS and I don't need to go to the UPS store or anything like that. And so I can throw this on my package, throw it in the mailbox, and then I am done. And so what you'll see if we come over here, we'll return to eBay. We should see that it's marked as shipped. Sold. There we go. So now we have the little shipped box appearing, and that is pretty much all we need to do at this point. Leaving a review is something we can do a little bit later once the whole transaction is complete. But as you can see, it's just a very simple, streamlined process. And they've just worked really hard to make it really, really easy to sell something. So your homework now is to go find something. If you have a phone laying around, let's go find that and try to sell it. Or find something else and let's just give this a shot. And I want to see how it goes for you. On this channel, we help you make more money, we help you save more money, and we help you to give generously. So if that's something that interests you, you can hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want to hear from us as we create more content like this. And a thumbs up would be really appreciated as well if you enjoyed the video. But that is all for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later. Adios.